Hi, everyone. It's Betty Ray again. I'm so happy to be with you, and I'm so glad that you have joined us today for day 17 of 30 Days to Happiness. Today is I will take notes of my surroundings. I'll pay attention to what's around me in my home. This day, I will look for the beauty, the harmony, the smiles, and the laughter around me. I will examine my home for clutter and remove it, making way for the flow of good fortune to bless my surroundings. It is amazing when you start to study energy, dear friends. Energy comes from everything that's around you. And energy flows in waves like this. If it's good energy, and if it's bad energy, it kind of clusters and it goes in jagged ups and downs, and it feels prickly and it feels heavy. And so please pay attention to the energy in your own surroundings. If you have to be home a lot, I know I have some people that have told me they've really been doing some spring cleaning. They've been getting rid of a lot of the clutter. And so today we want to talk about that clutter and creating beauty in your home. Now, it doesn't cost you anything. This doesn't cost you anything to have beauty in your home. And I want to show today this little mosaic up here. This didn't cost much at all. And it is something that I learned to do that I started with, and I can't show you the picture because it's on the outside of my house. But I started doing that when I had gone to the Midland Mosaic House in Michigan. And it was this young man who was recovering from depression. And he worked with a group of people who were helping him artistically to express himself. And so it is today a joy to share with you how to do these simple kind of mosaics. When I began, I used broken dishes and mirrors to create a mosaic. And what you do is you start with a piece of plywood, not heavy and not too thin that it'll warp. And you paint it with Kills 2 or 3 or something, I don't know. But it is to protect the wood if you want to hang it outside. And then you draw a picture on it. And sometimes what you have to do is you have to make a copy of something and then put it on there. And then it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You break up the dishes, you cut up the mirrors, and you can create a beautiful piece of artwork. Now, this one behind me, in fact, I'll take it down. Here we go. So I can bring it closer to you. This one is made with stained glass and mirrors. And when you begin to play with this, of course, these stones are real stones, and that adds to the energy of it. So this beautiful piece of wood, and it is just plywood, that's all that it is. It was painted with Kills, and then it was covered with these different pieces, and it's just cut in triangles. And any spots that you have left over, like the spaces between, you can put mirrors in it. And I used stained glass cutlery, what do you call it? The different tools, that's the words I want. I used the tools to create by cutting these different pieces of mosaic, make a mosaic. So I'm showing this today because if you're stuck at home, what a fun thing to do to create beauty in your home. And it's so easy to do. Of course, I had my own jigsaw, and actually I can cut that. You can see the wood is not very thick, and I did paint it on the back and put my little hanger piece. But this is simply covered with stained glass and mirrors, and I put a stone on it. Now, I have big ones, great big ones that I made. One is 5 foot by 3 foot. I think that's out front. And I did 2 angels. One was in blue, which was the Archangel Gabriel, and the other's in green, which is the Archangel Raphael. They're on the back of my house, outside. They will stay outside and do very well. And they were 3 feet by 2 feet. And so this is really a fun thing to be able to do. And if you like jigsaw puzzles, which I don't particularly like, but if you like jigsaw puzzles, this is right up your alley, except you get to cheat. You get to cut the pieces to fit rather than finding the pieces to fit. You get to cut them to fit. And so I wanted to share that with you today to show you that while you're stuck at home, do something creative and look through your house. If you've got lots of knickknacks around, take a few of them down and put them away so that there isn't quite so much energy that has to go around it and get stuck in it. And move things around. Take the things down and wash them and then put them back up so that their energy is cleared. Now, this is something that everybody should know about, and it is important that you think about it. You are breathing in energy, and you are breathing out the energy within yourself. And so this is one of the reasons why we wear masks now, is because the energy within you is filled with your saliva. And you know how you have to swallow once in a while when you're talking? That's because you have saliva that builds up in your mouth. And when you speak, even though you can't see it, your breath carries that saliva from your body out into the area within 6 feet. And this is why the scientists have said, stay away from one another. If they're carrying the virus, they can speak to you. If you're not wearing a mask, their breath, and it's just a breath, can come upon you. You can breathe it in, and next thing you know, you have the virus too. And this is something people don't want to believe. They can't see it, therefore they can't believe it. And so we say to you, so much pay attention to the scientific. So what is that? You know, if you have a toothache, you'll go to a dentist. If you have a toothache, you don't go to a restaurant to have the cook take care of your toothache. You want to go to somebody that knows about teeth that will take care of it. And it's the same thing. If you've got something wrong with you, you're going to go to a doctor. You're not going to go to your next door neighbor and expect your next door neighbor to fix you. That's what science is about. These are people that have studied how illness is created within the body. And they've spent many, many years in study. They, at least 8 years to become a doctor, 8 years of college. Can you imagine that? I mean, I spent 6 years getting my master's degree, and I know what it's like to jump through those hoops from the professors when they lay down the law. This is what you have to learn in order to get an A to pass my class. These doctors have studied the human body, and they know what they're talking about. This is not fake news. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because all of those of you who are listening to me already know this and already are taking protection. But please spread the word. Send our video to someone that you know that doesn't quite believe in the science. Send this to them and help them to understand that the Archangel Raphael speaks to me like that picture behind me. I hear his voice within my head, and I share it with others. And there is such a concern for this archangel who is a healer. The concern is that people are not listening to the science. They are not believing it. They call it fake news. And it is a trying time to figure out what is truth and what is fiction because we're getting so much untruths. And that is very, very sad. But it is true. When people want to politicize something, when they want to make it so that it works for their favor, they're going to tell lies. That's a common truth. And so you need to be fact checking all the time. And if a scientist says something is so and a politician says it is not, excuse me, they are not qualified. The politician has not studied science. So please pay attention to that. To Dr. Fauci, pay attention to him. He's saying wear a mask. This is the reason why we've had a second wave of the pandemic, is because we opened up the beaches here in Florida and everybody flocked to the beaches. And guess what? It spread the virus like weeds in a garden. And it's so important that you pay attention. So here we go. This is day 17. Today I will take notes of my surroundings. If you're outside, take note of the beauty in nature. I hope you've planted flowers wherever you are. Even if you're living in an apartment, you can have flowers in pots that live outdoors around your apartment. Or wherever you are, you can have them inside your house. That kind of growing live energy is wonderful for your home. And there are lots of indoor plants that you can have. Those peace plants are wonderful for that. And there are just so many other kinds that you can have that give good energy in your home. And so bring that live energy into your home to help it. And if you have any old flowers, artificial flowers, get rid of them because they're holding all of that dust and all of that dead energy. They kind of cluster it together and it doesn't give you any good energy. So kind of put them away or give them away to somebody else. And if you can buy some what we call silk flowers or flowers that are not man-made. They're not made of artificial materials. They're actually made from God-made materials like silk. Those give good energy in the house. And there's other things like mirrors. Mirrors are a very good thing to have in your home as well. And so put mirrors around here and there. It helps to reflect the energy and move it around the house. And of course, clutter, as it says in here. So again, repeating, day 17, today I will take notes of my surroundings. This day I will look for the beauty, the harmony, the smiles, and the laughter around me. If you have family living with you, make them smile, say something kind to them, compliment them this day, tell them how much you love them, and watch the energy just blossom as though they were a flower giving off perfume, a wonderful, sweet perfume. That's what a smile does. It says, I love you. I'm glad you're in my space. And even if you're out grocery shopping, smile at everyone. If your face is covered, you still can see that smile. And that greets people and makes them nod at you and smile back through their mask. So today is the day for you to increase the energy, the good energy in your home. Today is the day to look at your surroundings and get rid of clutter, anything that is really too much. Because again, anytime the energy has to swirl around all those little knickknacks that you might have displayed, that makes it a little bit easier to trap the negative energy. And believe it or not, negative is not evil. It is simply what is on this planet. We're in a planet of positive, negative energy. And so you have to watch out for the negative energy because it can drain your own energy. And I see it in myself so often. If I get overwhelmed, it's like I just wilt, just lose energy. And then when I pick up the energy of Raphael, then I am blossoming all over again. It's like a plant needing water. You've seen a plant. I'm terrible with plants, indoor plants. I forget to water them until I see them kind of drooping. And then I go, oh, yes, they need water. Well, you need the water of joy. You need the water of happiness. It helps nourish your body. It helps to keep you healthy. When you are lifted up, when you are happy, your body gets happier. And so if you've got pains and aches and dis-ease in your body, smile. It is one of the first remedies that you can use to make your body happier. And I know because I hurt my back quite a while back and herniated a disc, and I'm still suffering for it. Sometimes I even have to use a cane, which I don't like to admit, but I do if I'm having pain in my hip. It is a normal thing for every human being to suffer pain in the body. It's just something we cannot escape. And particularly when you get to be an old person like me, it is only natural. And yet, I do take care of this body. And I urge you to take care of your body by eating good foods, by eating foods that are whole, as they call it, and not indulging in sweets. It is so easy to want to indulge in sweets at this time because it's easy to get depressed by watching the news, by being confined at home, by not being able to have a connection with those you love. And it is possible, though, if you learn how to use Zoom. Now, my daughter made an arrangement for me to learn how to use Zoom this week because my birthday is coming up and my whole family is going to get on Zoom to say hi. I think that is just so exciting. I'm so looking forward to it. My children are scattered all across the United States, from California to Maryland, from Texas to Illinois. So they're all over the planet. And I don't get to see them that much. So this will be our first Zoom meeting. And I'm so looking forward to that. And I appreciate that my daughter thought that way so that people that couldn't come to me, I can come to them and we can get together again. It's like a family reunion. So take a look at that. In keeping track of yours you love that are scattered across the United States like me. And make this day a happy day. Choose to do what will make you happy, but will not make you indulge in things that might not be good for your body, because it is such a temptation. And they say that with the confinement, 15 pounds can be added on. Don't let that happen to you. Please take care of yourself. Eat good foods. Don't snack in between if you can help it. And if you need to, take some vitamins to help you get along this time when you are confined and can't get out that much. And if you can get outside and walk, oh, I'm so happy for you. It just happens I can't do that right now. I wish I could show you the labyrinth that I've created in the backyard. I paid a young man to put it in with black garden edging after I had laid it out in clothesline rope. And it is a complicated thing to do, but you can look it up online, Labyrinth, labyrinth. And it is 5,000 years old. It is something that has come about during the Crusades because, well, actually, I'm thinking of a different one. The first, what is it called? Sacred geometry. The first sacred geometry was the spiral. That's what's 5,000 years old. So let me correct myself. The labyrinth, I'm not quite sure when it actually came out, except they say that it came out during the Crusades. And that was when people couldn't go to do that pilgrimage to the Holy Land because the roads were filled with robbers. And with the Crusaders marching up and down, it was not a safe thing to do. So somebody created a journey called the Labyrinth, and it was symbolic of their trip to the Holy Land. And what it does is it goes around in a circle, it comes back around, keeps making these turnarounds and making turnarounds until you end up in the center. And then that's when you ask God a question. And then you get very quiet, and then you turn around and you walk out the same way you came in, going around and back around and back around. And I also understand that psychologically, it helps to balance the hemispheres of the brain because you're making a complete turnaround before you start back down another path. And this helps to balance the hemispheres of the brain. So if you get a chance and can learn of one that's outdoors, you can go in the pandemic and you can walk it, because if hopefully people will keep the 6-foot distance and you'll be okay. But it is really important that you raise your energy in this time when the negative energy wants you to be so downtrodden that you don't want to do anything. And that is a clear sign that your energy is drained. Labyrinths will help to raise that energy and help you feel better and give you information from your own guides and angels about what you need to do to be happy this day. So begin first in your home. Declutter. If you have too many things lying around, and I know I do at times get sitting beside my recliner, I have all kinds of clutter. And I need to clean that up and get it out of there so that it is actually a beautiful feeling to be there. And this is why the picture behind me and the one that I shared with you, this sweet mosaic is something you can make. It requires getting some tools and some stained glass. I used just pieces that they had left over, so it wasn't that expensive. And mirrors are very cheap to get in a place like Home Depot. And so we suggest that if you want to try something different, that you create yourself a beautiful mosaic flower and you hang that in your house and watch the good energy that will flow. And so use your imagination this time. Let your own angels and guides tell you what would be well for you to create. And if you are a writer, then write something this time. Let the flow of energy come through you onto that computer so that you can share that with others. Some people I know from my writing groups have wonderful poetry, and they are just absolutely amazing to see them write. So try doing that. You know, you can't join a writing group because, again, you'd have to wear masks, and what fun is that? But you can write, and you'd be surprised. You might be a poet. There might be a poet within you that you were a poet in a previous lifetime, maybe, and it's time to bring it out again. But don't hesitate to try new things artistically, intellectually. I mean, study something and do research on it and learn something new. These are all things that you can do while you're confined at home. And we're encouraging you to do that. Just like the angel that is sitting behind me on that beautiful picture that my son Tom sent me from Rome when he was visiting Rome 3 or 4 years ago now. And I'm so delighted because it is the way angels speak to you. They send that message into your mind and you go, that's interesting. I could do that. So don't hesitate to get quiet. And this is a great time. If you're at home, learn to meditate. And we will be doing a meditation video soon so that you can learn how to communicate with your own angels and guides and get answers for yourself. Now, there are a lot of people that use other forms of divination, as it's called. You can look that up too, divination. And you'll find that there are other means like the tarot cards, like numerology, like astrology. There's all kinds of things like that where you can get information for yourself. And so don't hesitate to call upon an astrologer or a numerologist, those that have studied it, just like Dr. Fauci. Those who have studied it and have worked with it for years certainly know more about it than somebody who's just starting. And I know a long time ago when I started working with Raphael, I tried to study astrology. I had a teacher, she was wonderful, and I had flashcards to remember fire signs versus to water and earth and air. And you know what? I could not remember anything. Now, I know I had a brain that could remember, but I couldn't remember anything. I mean, I have a master's degree. I studied and I have a master's degree in education, and yet I could not retain any information about astrology. Finally, Raphael said, that's because we want you empty-headed. And I burst out laughing. Empty-headed, I said. And Raphael explained that when he was giving us information about a person, he didn't want us to be asking them, when's your birth sign? So that we could do the numerology or we could do the astrology. They didn't want my input. The angels and Raphael didn't want my brain mixed in with what Raphael was trying to tell me. So you don't have to know these things to get information from your angels and guides. You just have to learn to get out of the way. You have to learn to be silent. And oh my, I know how hard that is because our brains are yakety, yakety, yakking all the time. To get it to shut up is the first thing that you do. When a thought comes in, you just send it right back out again. Another thought comes in, you send it right back out again. And while you do that, you take a deep breath and you smile. And so again, day 17. Today I will take notes of my surroundings. This day I will look for the beauty, the harmony, the smiles, and the laughter around me. Look for it on television too, because there are people that have smiles and laughter that can lift your laughter out of you. It says, I will examine my home for clutter and remove it. making way for the flow of good fortune to bless my surroundings. That's the message for today, dear ones. I hope you take it to heart and you spend the day looking at your surroundings and looking for beauty in it. God bless each of you. Stay safe, wear those masks, and come back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And we are live, so if you have questions, you can type them in and we will see them. Please let your friends know that we are here. Please make sure that you do tell people about our channel. Tell people that we are here for them and make this a place where you can come and Raphael can bring you beauty and goodness, peace and harmony. And may that be with you this day. God bless.